Hello, visionaries. Butch Hartman here. Welcome to Vision Possible. We want to make your daydream your day job. How exciting would that be? Man, the thing you've been dreaming about, the thing you've always wanted to do, making it into something you can make a living out of. I can't even tell you how exciting it is for me every day to wake up and draw cartoons every day and get paid for it. It is a blast. It's a blessing. It's a dream come true. It's all of those things. And yes, maybe some of you out there have experienced a little taste of what that's like. Maybe some of you have experienced an even bigger taste of what that's like. Maybe you've all been able to do it. Maybe you've started your own business, your own company, doing what you love and providing a service and, getting paid for it. That's amazing. Or maybe some of you don't even know where to start. Maybe you don't even know how to go about that. How do I even go about making a business? How do I, where do I even start to get investment? Where do I even start to get an audience? How do I build an audience? It's really kind of amazing, all the different things that go into creating a product of any kind. All these products behind me, I always refer to all these cartoon characters. All of these, are cartoon characters and comic book characters from various, TV shows, movies, that kind of thing. Each one of them has an audience. Each one of them has fans. Each one of them has a fan base or a group of people that want to support that particular character. Same goes for any product. Every car has a certain audience. Men like certain cars, women like certain cars, or older men like certain cars and younger men like certain other cars, that type of thing. Cars, musical instruments, homes, food, houses, places to live. Everything's got its own audience. And so you need to figure out who your audience is. And to figure out who your audience is and who you're making your product for. Many of you have probably heard me talk about this before, but it's definitely worth repeating, because if you don't know who your audience is, you're really not selling to anybody. I've heard this said many times. Who's this for? Oh, it's for everybody. Everybody would enjoy it. Well, if you're selling to everybody, you're selling to nobody. And you really are. You're selling, well, McDonald's is for everybody. Well, McDonald's is, everybody can go in there, but it's really not for everybody. It's for people that want to eat. Yes, everybody needs to eat. But it's kind of for people who want to eat cheaply. McDonald's, it's got a certain, audience for it. It's for people who want to eat cheaply. And that's what McDonald's is. So, and by the way, McDonald's has had massive, incredible success because of that. They knew who their audience was. This is for families that don't want to cook at home. And it was really one of the very first fast food restaurants ever. And everybody else is sort of, taken McDonald's approach and, that's going to work for us too. Burger King, Jack in the Box, Wendy's, they've all done the McDonald's thing, fast food, really quick, different types, but pretty much the same thing. So if it works, it works. But again, it's finding who your audience is. Even when you compare fast food restaurants, who is a McDonald's person compared to who is a Wendy's person, who is a Burger King person, who is a, I don't know what other ones are there out there. There's a whole bunch of, Jack in the Box, all these other ones. Or which other? Carl's Jr. if you're on the West Coast, or In-N-Out. Boy, In-N-Out's good if you're on the West Coast, and I think other places now. In-N-Out, good stuff. But who is your audience? If you're making a cartoon, who's your audience? Is it preschool? Is it, is your audience someone or a group of people that wants to watch educational things? And by the way, if it's educational, great. Is it for young people, like preschool, or is it for older people, like, educational films, for college students and things like that? You need to figure out what your audience is. And oddly enough, I'm not just talking about that subject in this video. I sort of started off talking about who the audience is and what the audience is all about. And you need to figure that out. And that is for sure. And by the way, you might have one audience now, but you may stumble into another audience later that you weren't even expecting. It's almost like, I believe Instagram. Was it Instagram? Yeah, Instagram, when it first started off as an app, I forget the name of the app. It was a different name. It wasn't called Instagram. And it was for, posting pictures and for blogging or whatever, like you would do on Facebook or writing on Facebook. It was like a Facebook type of thing. But, I hope I got this right, but Instagram found out that they were getting more interaction with just people posting photos than all the other stuff. So they got rid of all the other stuff and just made it photos only. And this is going back 10 years now with Instagram. And, you know, they were like, okay, it's just gonna be photos, we'll call it Instagram. And that is what took off because their audience was people that liked to post pictures. That's what it came down to. And so, you know, I said that though to say Instagram started one way, but then they turned and became another thing. Your idea might be the same thing. It might be the same thing where maybe you thought it was for little girls. Turns out it's for, you know, the idea you came up with. Older college boys respond to it more. I don't even know. I can't. It's a weird example, but you know, I'm saying don't be surprised if you find your idea taking a turn you weren't expecting, you know, because, but in order to do that, you're going to have to put it out to an audience. You're going to have to get something made, something done in order to get it out to an audience. You're going to have to get a poster made. You're going to have to write a script. You're going to have to make a sample piece of animation or shoot a sample film or something. Just get something done so we can see what it is. And if you've never done the thing that you want to do, for example, if you want to be a film director, but you've never directed a film before, you better learn how to direct a film, you know, or then you're going to be a producer of films and you're going to find directors who can do it, that sort of thing. You know, if you want to be a great guitar player, you better have picked up a guitar once in a while in your life. You know, you better want to be a songwriter. You know, I'm working on a project now where I've got to write one brand new song pretty much every week. And I've got to, this is what I want to do. I've set it up this way. I want a song and everything. And every one of these episodes I'm doing for this new project that I'll tell you about later, I've got to write a song every week. But the cool part is I've written many, many songs. I've been Emmy nominated for songs. If I turn this camera around, you can see I got some Emmy nominations up on the wall, and or some certificates on the wall. And I've been nominated for songwriting, and I'm a songwriter. And I wrote all my own theme songs for all my shows. I've written songs within all my shows, and I love to write songs because I want to write the songs I would like to hear if I was a kid. Those are the kind of songs I like to write. So anyway, this new project I'm doing. I want to write songs. And so it's like, now we planned it out to where I want a song in every episode. So it's a song every week now, but fortunately I've written songs and so I know how to do it. Now, that doesn't mean you're a songwriter. Maybe you are, but if you want to do something, if you want to prove to me that you can do something, let's at least have you do it on your own before you go to other people and like investors or something. They're going to want to see a track record. I'm trying to talk about a lot of things in this video. The main thing I wanted to talk about, that was one. There was two things I talked about just now. I talked about finding your audience and then showing us what you can do. You know, let's see what you can do with your idea. It just helps, guys. By the time I sold Fairly Odd Parents, I'd already been in the animation industry about 15 years. Wait, hold on, is it 15? No, it was about 11 years. I'd been in the animation industry for about 11 years and had done pretty much everything there was to do. So by the time I got around to pitching a show, the people I was pitching to knew me. And they'd seen what I could do. You know, people want to see a track record. If you're working in an industry that's not entertainment and you suddenly want to get into entertainment, let's see some stuff you've done. Okay, at least so I can see what you're capable of, and I can give you notes on it at a later time. But at least if I see you've done something, that impresses me. Like, okay, maybe it's not perfect, but you took a shot at it, and that's good. Now I can see where you are. And I can see where to place you, or I can see what I want to do with you, that kind of thing. But what I mainly talk about in this video, I know I talked about so many other things, but they're all good and important. I want to talk about comparison. And comparison is huge because we can't help as humans but to compare ourselves to others. Everybody does. You compare yourself to other people. Oh, that person's taller than me. Oh, that person's richer than me. Oh, that person is way better looking than I am. Or that person's a better artist than me, a better guitar player, a better musician. They have more prestige, so quote unquote, or more worldly success than I. All those things. We always compare ourselves. I'm here to tell you not to compare yourself. And the reason I did that, I was scanning my book here, Vision Possible. You can get this book. I believe we put a link up for this video, and you can get it on the Vision Possible website and get it on Amazon, Vision Possible. But in Vision Possible, there's a whole chapter about comparison and how dangerous it is to compare yourself to others, because it's okay to notice what other people have done and what they've been through and who they are. Of course, that's fine. You can't help but notice that. But don't live there in the land of comparison. You can't do that, because if you live in the land of comparison, all you're going to do is feel less than. You're going to feel like you're inadequate. You're going to feel like you haven't done enough. You're going to feel like you're going to feel like you're not up to the level of that other person. Comparison is a very, very hard thing to do. And it also messes with your mind. You might be on this great, great path doing this great, great thing, and then suddenly something comes along that for some reason you compare yourself to, and you're like, wow, I'm not doing it that way. They're doing it so much better than me. It's like, look how much better they're doing it. Oh my gosh. And comparing ourselves among ourselves, it says in the Bible, it says it's not a good thing. Don't compare yourself. Don't covet. One of the commandments is don't covet your neighbor's wife. Basically what that's saying is don't want what your neighbor has. Because if you want what your neighbor has, you're going to lose all focus on what you're doing in your life. You're going to lose all focus on what's going on in your world, and you're going to be only focused on what's going on over there, and that is not a good thing to do. We don't want to focus on them. We want to focus on what you're doing. The one time you want to focus on them is when you're trying to help them. You want to focus on them, and you want to think of them, like if you're going to help them and think of others, do unto others as they do unto you, absolutely do that. But don't think of them when it comes to comparing. Please don't do that. Like all these things I've done, these cartoons and things. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's a blessing. I'm so grateful. But there were times when I would compare my cartoons to other people's cartoons. Like, wow, that guy's doing that so much better. Or that young lady's doing that so much better. Or, oh my gosh, that show has bigger ratings than I. There was a time, this is really true, when I was at Nickelodeon and my show, Fairly Odd Parents, was doing fantastic. It was huge in the ratings, doing great. But there was another show on Nickelodeon called SpongeBob. I'm sure you've all heard of SpongeBob. Amazing show. Love SpongeBob. But SpongeBob was doing even better in the ratings than my show was. And the toys were coming out right and left for SpongeBob. I had toys. Fairly Odd Parents had toys. But the SpongeBob toys were just they were just overflowing. They were making so many SpongeBob items. It was crazy. And so I started getting, I was starting to get very, I would get envious. I would never say these things openly, but I would get in my heart going like, man, I wish, boy, how come I'm not? Blah, 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 blah. How come we're not? Blah, blah, blah. And I got out of it very quickly because I realized that I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to covet what they have. I'm supposed to work as hard as I can on what I have and not covet that. I can use it as an example on the level I want to get to. Okay, that's cool. I can do that too. That's what you want to do. But you don't want to go, man, boy, I'm just terrible compared to that. I'll never be that. Don't ever say that. Can't ever say that. All that's going to do, like I said, it's going to make you feel less than, make you feel like you haven't gotten to the level you want to get to, and it's going to really, bum you out. So comparison's not a good thing. If you're learning, like let's say you want to go to the gym, right? You go to the gym, and let's say you're not in shape, but you see somebody at the gym who's in incredible shape, and you're like, wow. I want to be in that kind of shape. That's a goal you want to hit. That's great. But you can't be looking at that other person going, man, I can't. And then let it wear you out and wear you down. Can't do that. You need to look at that as a goal. Use comparison as a goal you want to get to, like a goal in the end zone. That's what you want to do. You don't want to use comparison, like I said, as something that will depress you or make you feel bad. In fact, let me see what I have in the book here. In Vision Possible. Comparison is chapter, where is it? Oh yeah, 3. Don't compare your success to others. It's really early in the book, so I'm going to go to page 7 here. Let's see here. Here's how it starts out. Don't compare yourself to others. Your success to others. There was a guy on TV once who was a juggler. The guy was really amazing. He juggled 3 balls, then 4, then 5, until he got all the way up to 10 balls. Amazing. Give that a try. It's pretty tough. And it's a great lesson for those of us pursuing a vision. Don't juggle more than you're capable of at one time. Yes, there are those who can juggle a lot more than we can, but don't compare yourself to them. It will drive you crazy. Oh, here it is. It's in 2 Corinthians 10:12. For we dare not class ourselves or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise. Let's focus on those last words, are not wise. If you're comparing yourself to other people, it is not wise. Why would you do that? Well, that person's a billionaire. They have all this money. Well, if you're not, be happy where you are until you can get to that place where that person's, where you're a billionaire like that person. But how did that person get there? How did that person achieve that goal? Start looking into that. That's what I do. I go like, how did that person get there? Someone got there. They're there. How did they get there? What did they do? And can I emulate that? Or can I get there my own way using those tactics that person did, using some of the strategies they used, that type of thing. So, it's all about comparison, guys. As far as not using comparison as a knock against yourself. I remember when I was younger, when I was really young, like a little kid, everybody was an adult. So if somebody was successful, I'd be like, oh, they're an adult. They've been here longer than me. They're an adult. They're like in their 30s. I'm only 10 or whatever. They're an adult. I remember when I got to be age like 22, and then George Michael, this is so funny. I just remember this. George Michael from the group Wham. He was so successful. I gotta have faith, that song. I'm like, boy, George Michael, wow. He was only a year older than me. I was 22. And I went, okay, George Michael is already that successful and he's only a year older than me. What have I not done? What path did I not take that he took? And I was like, I started being bummed out. I can't believe I'm not where George Michael is. And by the way, why would I want to be where George Michael was? He was a singer. I wasn't. He was a musician. I wasn't at all. I couldn't get to where he was, even if I wanted to. I just didn't have the same skill set that he had. But the skill set I did have was cartooning, was storytelling, was animating, was character designing, was all this stuff. And once I got a hold of what it was, once I realized what it was that I had, I was off and running. It's like I can do cartoons, I can tell stories, I can do storyboards, I can direct voices, I can do voices, I can do all these things that, that I'm good at. And that's what we do. We start comparing ourselves to ourselves. Set a goal for yourself. And like I said earlier in the video, learn your audience. Who is your audience? Take a shot at doing a couple things that you're good at and see what you enjoy the most. I've met a lot of young people lately who are showing me student films that they've made and short films, and they're great. You're like, wow, okay, this person's got some talent. I can maybe use this person. I know a ton of animators that have shown me their animation work, and they're great. And maybe I can use those people as well because I see what they can do, And you may have to start at the bottom somewhere, no matter what your age is. But that's just how it starts, There was a young man today at this deli I went to for lunch, and he's such a nice kid, young man, very nice, always says hi to me. And he was emptying the ice into this big ice bucket. I said, how's it going, huh? Glamorous job. I'm kind of joking. He goes, oh yeah, but I love it here. I said, good, man. I said, I think you're going to own this place someday. He goes, he stopped. He goes, really? I said, yeah, you're going to own this place someday. I see that in you. You're going to own this. And he kind of lit up. And I was like, cool. I said, I said, you watch. If that's what you want, you'll get there. And he was all excited. And, I just said that to lift his spirits. And I said it to give him a goal in his mind that maybe he didn't have, or maybe he did. Maybe he wants to do something else. But setting that goal for him, that meant a lot to me because I loved when I was a kid, when I was younger, that people would say things like that to me. And I love that. So here we're going to wrap up a little bit here. Let's do this. So we're going to find our audience, right? We're going to do things we're good at and prove ourselves. And we're not going to compare ourselves to other people. That is the cardinal rule. Don't compare yourself because comparing is only going to frustrate you. And that's not where you want to be. You want to be happy where you are. You want to be excited where you are. You want to make sure that you push forward no matter what, in spite of the competition. And there'll always be competition out there. Half the things I've wanted to do in the last 5 years, I thought I'd be the only one doing them. There's like 10,000 people doing them. Like, okay, well, there's competition. I'm going to have to get out there and keep doing my thing. But did that make the makers of Burger King, just because McDonald's was successful, did Burger King not try? Just because McDonald's was successful, did Wendy's or Jack in the Box not try? Of course they tried, and they're still trying. You know, there's always room for one more hamburger stand, put it that way. And there's always room for your amazing idea and your goal to be established and be seen. And you can do it because you're a visionary. And we here at Vision Possible want to make your daydream your day job. So have a wonderful week. And we are just excited for you guys to keep following us here. And, you know, keep looking out for these videos. We got a great team here at Vision Possible. And we love you. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.